Happy New Year, everyone, and I do hope all of you enjoy the holiday season. So this is just a short video about how I do practice tests. Like we will be discussing the steps that I follow whenever I'm doing practice tests. When I'm studying for a big exam like the PLE or the internal medicine board exam. So these are the steps that I followed. No nagre-review for those exams. And in the previous video that I shared with you, we discussed the how to set up your own study schedule. And like I said, it really depends on the study schedule that's set by the review center that you're currently enrolled in. And we also discussed the like how to set up your daily study routine. And I think I mentioned this video na yun na um, I do one set of around 20 to 25 item practice tests in the morning and another set sa afternoon or sa gabi. So that means that I'm doing around maybe 40 or 50 na items ng practice tests per day. And I also mentioned there's a video na yun na there are two phases or like yeah there are two phases or periods sa sa when you're dun sa review centers ninyo, like for example, sa Top Notch is merong review period and may mastery period. And I think sa Expert MD is merong ganun din, parang review season, parang ganun review period din. And then meron silang final coaching, which is right around 1 month before the PLE. And during the review period is doon ninyo mapapansin na parang for each subject is there's right around 5 to 7 days allocated for each subject. And so there are two ways of doing practice tests. Kung dahil nandito pa lang kayo, dahil nasa review period pa rin kayo, na 5 to 7 days yung allocated per subject. So what I would suggest is you can follow either of two ways of doing practice tests. The first is kung dun sa isang subject is may 5 to 7 days na naka-allocate. Like for example, let's just say if biochemistry yung subject ninyo sa Top Notch or sa Expert MD. And let's just say na 5 to 7 days yung naka-allocate for biochemistry. So you can do so yung first approach of doing practice tests is you can do 100 items ng practice tests, 100 item practice tests. You can do that at the start nung 5 to 7 days na yun. So let's just say 5 days, no? Dun sa day 1, dun yung gagawin yung first set ng 100 items ng practice tests. So you're watching this video kasi subscribe kayo sa MedQBank. So you can do yung pinaka-recent na set ng practice tests sa MedQBank. Yun yung una nyong gagawin sa day 1 nung biochemistry. So that would be yung April 2025 na set ng biochemistry na makita nyo sa Canvas. So gagawin nyo yun. And when you're doing that, make sure that you're simulating the exam conditions. When I say simulating the exam conditions, is you have to be like sitting down and like really simulating yung na parang nasa exam talaga kayo, like you shouldn't, or you dapat is talaga sasabihan niyo yung mga kasama niyo sa bahay, or like dapat hindi kayo madidistract or hindi kayo madidistract for the next 2 hours. Kasi kung 100 items yun, kasi diba during the actual exam is you're given 2 hours for each subject. So 120 minutes. So kung 100 items yung sasagutan ninyo, so that means that you should be able to come up with the answer for each question in 1 minute or less. Okay? So that means kung 100 items yon is you should be able to finish yung 100 item practice test na yon, yung set na yon, in 100 minutes. So that means na kung 120 minutes yung naka-allot during the actual exam, kung 120 minutes yung naka-allot for each subject. So that means that you will still have 20 minutes na matitira kung matapos yung 100 items. And yung 20 minutes na yun, gagamitin nyo yun for going back dun sa mga questions na in-skip ninyo kasi hindi nyo pa masyadong sure yung sagot. And also, you can also use yung 20 minutes na yun to transfer yung answers ninyo from the question sheet. So this is during the actual exam. You can use that 20 minutes to transfer your questions from the question sheet papunta sa Scantron. Okay? So you have to basically train yourself na I mean, to train yourself na sit down for like 2 hours and talagang magsagot ng 100 item na practice test. So parang it sort of builds your endurance na magsagot ng 100 item na practice test. So after yung 2 hours na yun, or yung 100 minutes, obviously titinan niyo yung letter of the correct answer, and then you will study yung mga explanations. We'll go further dun sa details no kung paano ninyo dapat i-study yung explanations ng mga questions later in the video. So, gagawin niyo yun at the start, so day 1 ng biochemistry in our example. And then, yung second set ng practice test na gagawin niyo for biochemistry is pwede niyo siyang gawin dun sa day 5, dun sa final day na naka-allocate for that subject. Based sa study schedule ng inyong review center. So, gagawin niyo 100 item practice test. Again, gagawin niyo ulit siya, like you'll try to find a time slot in your day na you couldn't be bothered for 2 hours. So yung gagawin niyo ulit yun, no? And then you should be doing you should be doing another set, which is in third set. You should be doing a third set ng practice tests for that subject during the mastery period sa Top Notch and during the final coaching period sa Expert MD. So what I'm trying to say is you should be doing at least 300 na practice tests for each of the 12 subjects. So walang study na nagsasabi na dapat is you should be doing 100 or 200 or 300 or even 500 na items of practice tests for each of the 12 subjects if you're studying for the PLE. Walang study na nagsasabi na ganon. It's just based on, from my experience, kasi ako, when I was studying for my PLE, I think I did at least 300 or 400 practice tests for each of the 12 subjects during the whole review season. So, no time ko is, I think we were given 3 months to study for the PLE. So yun. And also, another thing is this is based on, like, when sa mga sinabi ng mga students na mentor ko in the past few months and years. So I've been doing this for like 2 years na nagme-mentor sa mga students. And whenever I'm talking to a student na on his or her second, third, fourth, or even fifth na take ng PLE, and whenever I ask them kung what do they think went wrong dun sa kanilang previous attempts, they would always say, like, all of them said na hindi sila napag-practice. Either hindi sila napag-practice tests at all, or nag-practice tests sila pero like konti lang, no? Like less than 50 lang or less than 100 lang, or even yung iba is like mga 20 lang or 25 practice tests in total for that subject. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, obviously, the more practice tests that you're doing for each subject is the higher the probability na pumasa kayo sa exam. So, of course, may mga students din na like naka 400 practice tests na items sa practice, or even 500 items na practice tests for each of the 12 subjects. May mga students na ganun. But the thing is, nagawa nila yon yung ganun karami kasi hindi, like, ang ginagawa nila, hindi nila sinasagutan yung practice tests as if hindi nila sinasagutan yon, hindi nila sinisimulate yung exam. So, ang ginagawa nila, kaya sila naka 500 na practice tests, na items ng practice tests for each subject. Ang ginawa nila is like sinagutan nila agad. Like so meron silang samplex and may sagot na. And ang ginawa nila is like, binabasa lang nila yung practice tests na yun. Binabasa lang nila. Na parang handouts. Like, binabasa nila yung question stem, yung options, yung letter of the correct answer, and then yung explanations. Like, binabasa lang nila na parang handouts sila. And so they're not even trying to come up with their own answer before looking at the correct answer and before looking at the explanations. Like, hindi sila nag-effort at all. So my point is, you should be simulating the actual exam, which is you should be trying to come up with your own answer first before you try and look at the letter of the correct answer and the explanations for the answer. Kasi you trying to come up with your own answer is like that is the essential. I mean, that's the very essence of active recall, kasi you are trying to actively recall yung information na na-study mo or na alam mo dun to come up with the answer dun sa question na yun. So if you're doing yung ginagawa ng ibang students na like binabasa lang nila yung practice test, so in a way, passive absorption lang siya ng information. And so during the actual exam is dahil hindi mo na practice yung active recall, is obviously hindi mo ma-recall. I mean, there's a lower probability na ma-recall mo yung information na yun during the actual exam. Okay. So, which is why 300 practice tests for each subject is sort of like the sweet spot. Like, 300 is like hindi ganun kaunti, at the same time hindi siya ganun karami na parang na bumababa na yung quality nung act of doing practice tests. Kasi obviously if you can only get to 500 or 600 items and practice tests for each subject if binabasa mo lang siya. Like, binibilisan mo siya magbasa, and like yun nga, you're not trying to come up with your own answer first before looking at the correct answer. If you're not doing that, then obviously kaya mong maka 500 or even 600, no? Kasi nga binabasa mo lang naman yun. So so let's go back dun sa two methods of doing practice tests. And so far, ang diniscuss natin is yung first method. The first method is, yung sinabi ko nga, doing 100 item practice tests sa day 1, and then dun sa last day nung naka-allocate na days dun sa subject na yun. Like, kung 5 days of biochemistry, day 1 and dun sa day 5, mag-practice test ka ng 100. You start with the most recent set ng practice tests, which is April 2025. And then dun sa day 5 ng biochemistry, you're gonna do yung second set of practice tests, which is yung October 2024. Okay? And then yung third set na gagawin mo sa final coaching or sa mastery period is gagamitin mo naman yung April 2024. No, so in a way, parang you're sort of working your way backwards dun sa practice tests, no? Yun. So that's the first way of doing practice. That's the second method, which is the method that I followed when I was doing when I was studying for my PLE, PSBIM, IM board exam. Ang ginawa ko is, which is na-mention ko dun sa previous video, is yun nga, parang I tried to break it into parts, yung 100 item practice test. I tried to break it into parts, and then I spread it out dun sa 5 days ng biochemistry, using your example natin. So, kung 200 yung goal ko, kasi di ba naka 200 tayo dun sa first method, 100, 100. So, total of 200. So, if you're gonna use the second method, yung 200, i-divide mo siya by 5 days. So, that's 40 na practice tests per day. So, that means you can either do 40 one set of 40, or you can like break it apart further, like 20 sa umaga and then 20 sa hapon or sa gabi. Okay. And you're gonna do that for the next 5 days. Okay. And I think mas manageable siya for me noong time na yun. So that I don't have to find 2 hours in my day, dun sa day 1 and sa day 5. I don't have to find 2 hours to to sit down and answer 100 item na practice test. But again, it really depends sa preference ng students. Like may mga students na gusto nila masagutan lahat ng buong 100 so that they can get a general idea agad about the subject. Kasi kung nag 100 item practice test ka agad dun sa day 1, parang marami ka na agad idea sa, I mean, you can get you can already get parang a huge baseline knowledge dun sa subject na yun. Kasi parang pag nasagutan mo na yung 100 item practice test na yun, before even starting to study yung handouts and yung lecture videos ng biochemistry na yun, is kumbaga, dahil nasagutan mo na yung 100 items na yun, is mas marami ka ng idea dun sa kung ano yung mga most high yield na information sa biochemistry. Well, ako personally is I don't mind kung hindi ko pa masyado alam yung mga information na high yield. Kasi anyway, madadaanan ko rin naman sila kung i-break apart ko sila. If I break it into parts and then spread it out dun sa 5 days na yun. So yun, it really depends no sa preference nyo. So ako personally, yun yung ginawa ko. 40 items per day. And then kung 5 days yun, and then that means maka 200 din naman ako anyway. So, so yun. So that's the 2 ways. Now, let's go dun sa so dun sa second method na sinabi ko, the way you can do that sa Canvas is, well, the problem with Canvas at the moment is limited pa yung functionality niya compared to other like US-based na mga apps. So, ang Canvas is wala siyang functionality na kaya mong iset yung, like, wala siyang functionality at the moment na kaya mong i-customize yung how many number ng practice test yung gusto mong gawin in a single study session. So, like for example, gusto mong mag-20, hindi mo kaya siyang iset. Like, lagi lang siyang 100 items na set. So, ang pwede mong gawin is, I'll show it to you later in the video. So, anyway, actually, pwede ko na siyang i-show na sa inyo. No? So, this is how I do practice tests. Okay? The first is, so I'll just walk you through, no? Kung paano ko siya gagawin. Let's just say na umaga ngayon. So, umaga ngayon and 7 a.m. Kasi 7 to 7:30 a.m. ako nag-start mag-study. And doing practice tests is the first thing that I do before I even start reading the study material or watching the lecture videos. Nagpa-practice test muna sa morning. I think, I'm not sure kung na-mention ko yun dun sa previous video that I shared with you, but the reason that nagpa-practice test ako first thing in the morning is, I don't know if you've experienced it before, na if you sit down on your study table and the first thing that you do is to watch in lecture videos or read your handouts, is you will, for me personally, what I experience is, if I do that, is parang ang bagal ko magbasa. Kasi syempre kakagising mo lang and parang tinatamad ka pa. Parang sobrang bagal ko magbasa first thing in the morning. So, kasi obviously, reading is not too much engaging. So, pero pag nag-practice test ako, parang mas actively engaged ako dun sa practice test. And obviously, dahil may timer ako, so parang mas pressured ako. So, I think it helps me pick up my momentum sa pagsastudy much faster than like simply reading the handouts. So let's just say na 7 a.m. ngayon. So, ang gagawin ko, bubuksan ko yung Canvas. Okay? And let's just say na gusto kong i-study is itong biochemistry. So, nabuksan ko na to kanina. So, kaya siya nakalagay is resume quiz. So, anyway, so kung wari magsasagot ako, no? And for example, so hindi ako magsasagot ng whole 20, hindi ako magsasagot ng 20 na item na practice test. No? Ang gagawin ko is like 5 lang. Just to show you kung paano ko siya gagawin. Okay. So, kung 5 questions na sasagutan ko, that means na dapat I should be finished by in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, dapat matapos ko yung 5 questions. So, tama-tama, 8:30. Yung nakasulat dito sa timer natin. So, dapat is matapos ko siya by 8, on or before 8:35. Okay. Sige, sagutan natin to. Wait, yung tingin sa time. Okay. Most likely deficient in this patient. Okay. So basically, I'm showing you kung paano ko mag-practice test. No? So number 1 is I figure out kung how many items yung gusto kong gawin. So in this session, gusto kong gawin is like 5 questions lang. And then I look at the timer. I look at the time kung anong oras dapat ako matapos. So kung 5 questions, 5 minutes ko dapat matapos yung 5 questions na yun. So 8:30, dapat matapos ako 8:35. And also, you can look at the timer dito sa may right-hand side ng screen. Okay? I think 1 minute pa lang yung lumilipas, no? Number 3, obviously, baka magkamali ako, no? So, kasi hindi ko natanda kung ano yung mga answers dito. Number 4, I would go with D. Proteins. Okay. So, dahil 5 lang yung gusto kong sagutan, na questions, and then tapos na ako, sa tingin ko tapos na ako, hindi na ako mag-iisip further kasi this is just to serve as an example. So, ang gagawin ko, dahil tapos na ako sa 5 questions, what I will do is, I will scroll all the way down here and I will submit the quiz. Okay, scroll all the way down to the screen so that you can find this button and a submit quiz, and then this pop-up will show up, and then it will say that you still have 95 unanswered questions submitted anyway. So you just click on OK. Kasi anyway, multiple naman yung attempts ninyo for each set ng practice test, multiple yung attempts ninyo. So even if i-submit nyo to ngayon, pwede nyo pa ulit siyang i-retake yung quiz or yung practice test. So submit anyway, and then what you will find is all of the answers and the explanations ng all 100 na questions will come up. But kumbaga, mag-focus lang kayo dun sa in-answeran nyo na 5. Okay? So yun. So ang sinagutan ko is 1 to 5. So mag-focus na ako sa pagtingin ng kung ano yung letter of the correct answer sa 5 questions na sinagutan ko. Water rate limiting enzyme of the urea cycle. So correct ako, no? CPS 1. Question number 2, tama rin ako. Okay, dalawa na yung tama ako. Okay. So the correct answer pala dito is fatty acid synthesis. Nalimutan ko na nga eh. Okay. Number 4, yep, IgM exists as a pentamer. And then the 5th is yun, pepsin. Yay. Okay. So 4/5 yung aking score is 4/5. Okay. So, hindi na ako titingin dito sa number 6 para, of course, kasi yan yung next set ng gagawin ko. Now, so ano yung next kong gagawin? Ang next kong gagawin is, dahil nakita ko na yung score ko, ang next na gagawin is, I will study the explanations. So, how do I study the explanations? So, kita nyo dito, 8:35. So, I would suggest na you should be, number 1 is you should set a timer so that when you're studying the explanations, you should set a timer so that you don't number one is obviously so that you can be aware of how much time you're already spending in in one on one number, okay, and so that you don't spend too much time na it will at the expense of the rest of the explanations or the rest of the questions na kailangan nyo pang aralin. So 8:35 dito, no? So ang gagawin ko is aralin ko muna itong explanations na to. Okay. So basahin ko siya. Okay. Rate limiting enzyme is CPS1. So CPS1 is different from CPS2 kasi CPS2 is a de novo pyrimidine synthesis. Okay. PRPP aminotransferase is a de novo purine acetyl-CoA of enzyme of fatty acid synthesis. Okay. So habang binabasa ko to, I'm still looking at the time of how much time I'm already spending. And you should be spending not more than 10 to 15 minutes per question. Okay? So that kasi if hindi kayo mag-set ng timer or if you're not aware of the time na sinispend nyo sa each question, before you know it is you're already spending an hour sa isang question. Okay, may student ako ng ganun na sabi niya, ang tagal daw gawin. Ang tagal daw gawin nung method na tinuturo ko na parang studying the explanations and going back to the study material to read everything about that topic. Ang tagal daw nun gawin. Which is true, no? Matagal naman talaga siyang gawin, but mas matagal siyang gawin if you're not setting a timer. Kasi nga, yun nga, na it's easy for you na mag-spend ng 1 hour sa isang question. And then, hindi ka na maka-move on sa next number if you're not keeping, if you're not being aware. If you're not looking at the time, no, of how much time you're already spending sa isang number. Okay, so far, 2 minutes pa lang naman yung na-spend natin. So yun, babasahin ko to. And what I will do is, after reading the explanation is hindi ako masasatisfy dun sa explanation na to. Ang gagawin ko is babalik ako sa study material. So either babalik ako dun sa handouts ng Top Notch or handouts ng Expert MD, which I would suggest is pwede niyong gawin. Or you can also go back dun sa references na kung saan namin kinuha yung questions. So itong references na ito yung mga recommended na references for the PLE. Okay, so hindi kami gumagamit ng mga references na hindi recommended. Like for example, yung Leninger ng biochemistry, I've never heard of any student na nag-top ng PLE or any student talaga na nag-PLE na gumamit ng Leninger. You can use Leninger during med school, but I wouldn't suggest gamitin nyo siya during PLE kasi may mga specific books talaga na ginagamit yung Board of Medicine. Itong biochemistry book na to this was mentioned by the Top Notch in 2021, I think, na ginamit niya to and may mga questions na lumabas from that book. So which is why we used this as reference. So after reading the explanations na to, there are 3 probable outcomes. Okay. After reading the explanation, there are 3 probable outcomes. The first outcome is na tama ka dun sa sagot mo, tulad ng example na to, tama ka dito sa sagot na to, and you're sort of confident dun sa sagot mo na yun. And iniisip mo na you can just, na you're satisfied with the explanation. Na kahit mabasa mo lang ang explanation na to is okay na. No, naintindihan mo na, gets mo na, alam mo yun. Another example is like, for example, if the question was about like the rate limiting step ng glycolysis, obviously ang glycolysis is alam ng most students, no? So kasi lagi naman siya nadi-discuss. So, if tama ka dun sa question na yun, and parang okay ka na dun sa tama ka dun, confident ka dun sa topic na yun, and nabasa mo na explanations, after mo basahin yun, you can just move on to the next number. Kasi nga, alam mo na yung glycolysis eh. You know, you don't have to go back to the study material and read everything about glycolysis ulit. Kasi anyway, aaralin nyo naman siya during the lecture. papanoorin mo siya during the lecture videos. Okay? So, again, medyo subjective siya, no, na feeling na parang, alam ko naman itong glycolysis, let's just move on to the next number. So, pwede mong gawin yun. The second outcome is, tama ka dito sa sagot sa question na to, but hula siya. So, madalas nangyayari din yun, no, na parang tama ka pero hula. And hindi ka masyadong sure dun sa ibang sinabing options kung why they are not the answer to the question. So in that case, you will go back dun sa handouts ninyo, or you will go back dun sa references na na-mention dito sa MedQBank. The third outcome is, obviously, kung mali ka dun sa question, like tulad nito, obviously, nalimutan ko na to. So kung mali ka dun, gagawin mo rin kung ano yung sinabi ko kanina, which is like going back dun sa handouts or going back to the study material. Okay. So, let's just use this example. Okay. Medyo sure ako dun sa CPS1 as the rate-limiting enzyme of the urea cycle, pero hindi ako sure dun sa ibang options. So, after ko basahin itong explanations na to, okay, I think I spent 2 minutes studying this explanation. No? I spent 2 minutes kanina nung tumingin ako dito sa timer natin. So meaning, kasi like I said, you should be spending not more than 10 to 15 minutes per number. So I still have maybe 13 minutes. No? So kung 2 minutes na ako, so ito 8:42. So tama-tama, no? Yung timer natin. So that means na I should be able to finish studying the topic ng rate-limiting enzymes na to in 10 to 15 minutes. Okay? Which means, dapat in 10 to 15 minutes, dapat nakabalik na ako sa study material, and then dapat na-read ko na everything about that topic. So, nabasa ko na tayong explanation. So, ang gagawin ko, babalik ako dun sa page 71 and page 282 ng biochemistry. Which is, na-open ko na rin naman dito. So, page 72 is this one. And this is page 282. So while I'm reading this section ng urea cycle, is I'm still keeping track of the time. Okay, so babasahin ko to. Ammonia, blah, 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 blah. So, excuse me. Mahirap intindihin itong block of text na to kung walang image. No? Which is why useful gamitin ang first aid for the USMLE. I think isend ko na lang din ito sa inyong doon sa group, sa Telegram channel natin, just so na magamit nyo. I mean, na hindi nyo na kailangang mag-search sa Google kung alam mo yun, ng copy ng first aid. So while it'll be much easier if habang binabasa nyo tong urea cycle na to, na block of text na to, is tinitingnan nyo rin dito sa first aid for the USMLE, itong kung saan nag-fit ang urea cycle in like the big picture. So ito siya. So sabi is carbamoyl phosphate reacts with ornithine to form citrulline also in the mitochondria. Imagine naman guys, pag binasa nyo to, carbamoyl phosphate reacts with ornithine to form citrulline. Sobrang hirap niya imagine. But pag nakita nyo to, itong image na to, carbamoyl phosphate reacts with ornithine to form citrulline. Wow! Mas madaling siyang intindihin, di ba? Kasi may image kang tinitingnan, may image kang fina-follow while reading the text. Okay, so that is why it's important na habang pag nagbabasa kayo ng isang block of text, is either titingnan nyo sa first aid kung may figure ba or may image ba yung block of text na yun na related to that, or you can also Google. Google kung ano urea cycle, and then you just look at the image while you're reading the block of text. Okay, so while I'm reading this, so ang gagawin ko, not only will I be reading itong block of text na to, and dahil may time pa naman ako, I think 5 minutes pa naman, no, para before mag 10 minutes is babasahin ko rin to. Babasahin ko rin itong reactions to the urea cycle, ano yung mga enzymes, argininosuccinate synthetase, and I will find out na, okay, naglo-load siya. Sorry about that. And then yun, so babasahin ko tong buong text na to. And I will, habang nagbabasa ako, is I always look at the time of how much, time I'm already spending dun sa number na yun. And like I said, 10 to 15 minutes lang. Of course, kung maraming text and hindi ka masyadong familiar dun sa topic na yun, you can always spend more time, but I would say not more than 20 minutes. No, huwag nyo naman going 30 or even 45 minutes. Again, it really depends. No, I'm not saying na dapat hindi kayo mag-spend ng 45 minutes or an hour. It really depends sa complexity ng topic na yun. Lalo na kung maraming table, maraming dapat i-memorize. So, you should be, of course, you should be spending more time dun sa mga ganon. Okay? Yun. So, and also, habang syempre may time pa naman, no? Aside from studying the urea cycle, is meron ding ibang enzyme na nandito. CPS2 is a rate-limiting enzyme daw of de novo, and then de novo pyrimidine synthesis. PRPP is a rate-limiting de novo purine, and nandito lahat yun sa first aid. As you can see, may magandang table showing yung rate-limiting enzymes, or ang tawag niya is rate-determining enzymes of the several metabolic processes. Okay? So urea cycle is CPS1, de novo purine synthesis is PRPP aminotransferase, and also may mga regulators sila. So ang isa sa mahalaga dyan is yung ang regulator ng urea cycle is NAG or N-acetylglutamate. And like I said, maganda tong image ito. And also may mga mnemonics sa first aid. So like, tingnan nyo to. Kasi this is one of the super high yield na information sa biochemistry na kung saan nangyayaring organelle ng cell, saan sila nangyayari yung mga metabolic processes. Like for example, sa mitochondria nangyayari itong mga metabolic processes na to, sa cytoplasm nangyayari to, and both sa mitochondria and sa cytoplasm nangyayari, itong mga metabolic processes ito. So there's not much metabolic processes that happen in both the cytoplasm and the mitochondria. Konti lang sila. Remembered by the mnemonic HUG. Okay? So, heme synthesis, urea cycle, and gluconeogenesis. Sila lang yung like mga metabolic processes na nangyayari sa both mitochondria and cytoplasm. Okay, so which is why very useful ang first aid kasi it can give you like this whole big picture na to and appreciate, mas maintindihan ninyo yung inaaral ninyong information. And may mga mnemonics sila like this one, yung HUGS Take 2. Kasi both mitochondria and cytoplasm. And I'm not saying na gamitin nyo yung first aid as a first line reference for the PLE. I'm just saying na gamitin nyo siya as a supplement. Lalo na kung like you feel stuck sa isang, like for example, habang binabasa nyo itong urea cycle na to and you feel stuck na, oh my gosh, wala akong mag-gets. Hindi ko gets kung ano pinagsasabi niya. And hindi ko gustong tingnan tong picture na to. Ang gulo-gulo nitong picture na to. You can go to first aid. That's what I mean. No, you can go to first aid and like look for kung na-discuss ba siya sa first aid. Ang maganda rin man sa first aid, no, pag nag-command F ka or nag-control F ka, is very like naka-index yung mga information, meaning searchable siya. It's a searchable PDF, so madali mag-search. Kasi may mga PDF na mahirap mag-search, like yung Nelson's na PDF, na sobrang kapal, so sobrang hirap mag-search ng information dun. Ang maganda dito sa first aid is like searchable siya. So, yun. So, dahil 10 minutes na tayo nag-uusap, no, kasi di ba 8:40 ako nag-start. So, 10 minutes na. So, dahil 10 minutes na, I could either choose na to stop reading, kunwari nag-stop ako dito sa, naka 10 minutes na, nandito na ako, sabihin ko sa self ko, I mean, patapos na rin naman yung discussion about the urea cycle. So maybe I'll just extend for 5 more minutes. Kasi 10 minutes pa lang na. I can extend for like 5 more minutes para tapusin ko tong buong urea cycle. Mabasa ko lang siya. And I can also, dun sa 5 minutes na yun, pag natapos ko agad to, I can also read yung other, yung page before this one, yung may mga rate determining enzymes for the other metabolic processes. I can also read that, no? Page 71 yun. I can also read all of these things. Kasi, I don't know if na-mention ko ba yun before na hindi na ulit yung questions sa PLE 100% pero nauulit isang question topic. So that means na if ang tinanong sa PLE dati is what is the rate limiting enzyme of the urea cycle, ang pwede na itanong next time is urea cycle din, but it's a different enzyme. No? Like ang pwedeng, kung ang tanong dati is what is the rate limiting enzyme of the urea cycle, pwedeng ang tanong na next time is carbamoyl phosphate combines with which of the following molecules to form citrulline, for which the answer is ornithine. So yun na yung pwedeng lumabas sa next na PLE. Again, it's still about the urea cycle, but iba ng concept na under pa rin ng urea cycle. Which is why it's important na after reading the explanations is you go back dun sa reference material so that you can read everything about that topic. So that pag tinanong ulit yung urea cycle, which is there's a higher probability na itanong ulit siya kasi tinanong siya dati, pag tinanong ulit siya is hindi lang rate limiting enzyme yung alam ninyo about the urea cycle. No? Hindi lang rate limiting enzyme. Kasi nga, less kung tinanong na siya dati, less likely na siya itanong ulit. Para pag tinanong na ulit yung urea cycle, may sasagot kayo kasi nga, binasa nyo everything about the urea cycle. Okay? So, I hope that's helpful information for you. So, and then, dahil naka 13 minutes tayo, like, let's just say na, tapos na ako magbasa, and then I can move on to the next number. Okay? And then, ganun na lang ulit. Sa tingin ko, hindi ako tama ako dito pero medyo nalimutan ko na kung ano yung mga glycogen storage diseases. So reviewin ko lang ulit sila either sa handouts ng Top Notch or Expert MD, or I can just go back dun sa mga references na state dun sa MedQBank. So that's basically what you will do. So you just have to keep track of the time that you're spending for each question, and you should be doing at least 300 items of practice tests for each of the 12 subjects. And like I said, in 200 is during the review period, and then yung 100 you should be doing that during the mastery period or the final coaching period. Okay. So that's basically how I do practice tests. I'm not saying this is the best way of doing it. It's just the way or the method that worked for me, and also worked for the students that I shared that method with. And when they used it, they found it useful, and naging licensed MDs na rin sila. Okay. So I hope this is useful, and all the best sa PLE.